Assalamualaikum and salam sejahtera. Today I will be presenting presentation in ICTTBESR 2021 titled Factors Affecting Teleworking Adjustment During COVID-19 Pandemic Among Trade Union Members, a concept paper. Authors of this concept paper are Azizan bin Morshidi and Kiwai Sabaria binti Kiwai Mat Yusuf from Industrial Relation Program FSSK University Malaysia Sabah. This presentation will be structured according to this table of content. First, introduction. The second one will be statement of research problem. The third one will be significance of study, followed by research question and research objective. Literature review will follow. We'll end up with proposed conceptual framework and a research methodology plan as well as data analysis plan will also be included. Introduction. The COVID-19 pandemic crisis presents unprecedented challenges and has profound implications for the way people live and work. Information and communication technologies have been playing a crucial role in ensuring business continuity as lockdown measures have suddenly forced employees from across the globe to telework, often leaving them unprepared and ill-equipped. This concept paper develops an pandemic-induced telework adjustment model derived originally from the theory of work adjustment (TWA), particularly among the trade union members in Sabah, Malaysia. Statement of research problem. From the employees' end, particularly in Sabah, Malaysia, the implementation of lockdown measures by the Malaysian government coincided with an immediate and unexpected shift to teleworking, often leaving them unprepared and ill-equipped while having to deal with complex family home situation. This sudden work environment change has constrained individuals to engage into what Davis et al. 2000 call adjustment to work to new work situation and practices as developed in the theory of work adjustment TWA. Adjustment to new work context involves adaptation to new environmental demands stemming from changes in the structure of work and in the nature of interpersonal relationships. As of May 2021, despite signs of improvement of the situation and the gradual relaxation of coronavirus lockdowns measures in a number of countries, in Malaysia, the situation has dramatically worsened. Thus, teleworking remains a reality for a vast majority of employees as governments have encouraged organizations to maintain remote work as much as possible and for an undetermined period. It seems certain that the COVID-19 events have permanently transformed the way we work, modified the employer-employee relationship, and strengthened the critical role by the ICT in work practices. Nevertheless, the trade unions in Malaysia, deemed as the savior of the workers, play vital role in safeguarding their members' interests, particularly in the work context of teleworking. Even though TW and Nicholas framework have been utilized in several previous management research, both have not widely researched in industrial relation field, particularly within trade union context. Thus, the trade union's members' attitude toward this issue ought to be studied by attempting to find the most prevalent factors that influence trade union members' telework adjustment during the COVID-19 pandemic. The significance of this study are, namely, first, the development of robust model explaining the telework adjustment among the trade union members will further enhance the trade framework of the union members' relationship. Next, in this pandemic context, identifying and understanding what makes trade union members better adjust will help support the development of the efficient, effective, and human telework practices during the COVID-19 crisis in the post-lockdown period, but also for potential future epidemic crisis. The third one would be the research will be able to provide concrete and actionable recommendations for relevant organizations while trying to prepare them for facing future crises necessitating the lockdown of the work population. And finally, the research will indirectly contribute to the global reflection of the nature of work as well as the notion of organizational boundaries. Therefore, the research question. The first research question will be what are the most prevalent factors that influence trade union members' work adjustment during COVID-19 pandemics? Second research question will be what are the relationship among the factors that with the trade union members' work adjustment during the COVID-19 pandemic? And the third one will be how gender moderate the relationship among the factors with trade union members' telework adjustment during COVID-19 pandemic. Therefore, the research objective accordingly, the first one would be to identify the most prevalent factors that influence trade union members' telework adjustment during COVID-19 pandemic. Second objective would be to determine the relationship among the factors with the trade union members' telework adjustment during COVID-19 pandemic. And the third objective is to determine how gender moderating or moderate the relationship among the factors with trade union members' telework adjustment during COVID-19 pandemic. The literature review part started with statement in which the ILO synthesized current telework practice by defining telework as the use of ICT such as smartphone, tablet, laptop, and desktop computers for the purpose of work outside the employer's premises. But why now is any different? Compared to telework carried out in a conventional context, namely pre-COVID situation, telework induced by an disease epidemic has inherent specificities. In the COVID-19 context, the flexibility of location and working time that telework is supposed to offer is no longer allowed. Home confinement is imposed. Teleworking become mandatory full-time practice, and teleworkers often have to deal with exacerbated professional and personal time balance issues. In summary, epidemic-induced telework inherits some of the characteristics from conventional telework, but it appears to have particularly aspect making it a unique contact with specific conceptual boundaries. More particularly, the sudden mandatory and unprepared nature of epidemic-induced telework alters the person-environment relationship, thus triggering adjustment behavior to adapt to the new work situation. In line with the theory or the TWA, the lockdown and subsequent telework surge appear as a drastic work environment change that has affected the employee-environment relationship, causing the individuals to have to adjust to the complex situation. Conceptual model that is introduced below later has conceptual roots in the TWA and Baruch Nicholson's framework. It hypothesizes the relationship between several categories of factors: individual, job, organizational, to individual adjustment. More specifically, these research focus on the particular type of work adjustment which pertain to telework adjustment in the very specific crisis-related context induced by the COVID-19 pandemic. The research will also investigate work adjustment to entire work environment, including, among other elements, range from diverse IT tools used in the telework context. Meanwhile, the proposed conceptual framework that we provide will forward that is derived from crisis-induced telework adjustment framework introduced in this conceptual paper, whose theoretical foundation lay in TWA and Baruch-Nicholson framework, 1997. Among the variables that are included in the model, certain are crisis-specific, that is to say, the crisis context. They are trade union members' IT complexity, which is individual factor, professional association, which is the job factors, and finally, perceived union support organization factors. Moderating factors, namely age, is also added to test the moderating effect of such variable of the relationship with the main variable. So this is the proposed conceptual framework. As you could see, IT complexity, local adjustment, professional, with telework adjustment, perceived union support, relate with adjustment, then moderated. All three relationships will be hypothesized to be moderated by gender. So our research methodology plan is a cross-sectional studies, which also will employ an online survey targeting a sample teleworkers who are trade union members as our unit analysis in a selected sector in Sabah. Stratified random sampling method will be utilized. The measurement that will be used are all measurement scales that will be robustly adapted from previous studies, pre-tested and validated. Suitable trade union will be selected and survey process will be pre-arranged with them accordingly. So, as the data analysis plan, the actual data that will be analyzed based on two distinct statistical criteria, namely, with the usage of SPSS and MOS will be utilized in this research data analysis. Therefore, there are 8 procedures consist accordingly with related to the structural equation modeling, in which later on, at the end, finally, a structured model will be produced to explain the relationship among factors to the telework adjustment among trade union members in Sabah, Malaysia during COVID-19 pandemic. The end. Thank you very much.